Hello, everybody. Today is the 15th of April. And if you guys remember from yesterday, I asked you to, out of our scenarios, do scenarios 3, 4, and 5 independently on your own. And then obviously I was in the team's meeting willing to help anyone who thought they needed help. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to, go over these. If you did not finish them yesterday, you can go over them here with me, and you can still submit them. Just know that since yesterday's assignment was an actual graded assignment as opposed to a completion assignment, you will be getting some points off for it being late. But in any case, let's take a look at these three scenarios so that we can hopefully understand them a little bit more. Up first, we got scenario 3, which says that one night, John, Louie, and Bonnie went to see the local baseball team play a game. They each bought, 1, a game ticket, and 2, a hat that cost $10. How much was each ticket to enter the ballpark? So, this question here for scenario 3 is actually going to be very similar to the other two scenarios that we had done before. But there's one thing different. For scenario 1 and scenario 2, we were dealing with the whole family, all 5 of them. But this time, we're only dealing with 3 people, which means we're only getting 3 tickets and 3 hats. People in the family that aren't here aren't getting these things. And then again, same as with all of these scenarios, we're going to have to go up to our expenses table in order to pull down what the cost for our baseball game and hats was. And our baseball game and hats was a total of $103.83. So, setting up this equation is going to be exactly like our equations from scenario 1 and scenario 2. Except instead of having a 5 on the outside of our parentheses, this time we're going to have a 3 because of our 3 people. And, we don't know how much a ticket costs, so T is going to stand for ticket. If you use the different letter, that's fine. Doesn't say you have to use T. I'm just going to use it. So we're going to have our ticket cost plus, I'm making sure that my plus is really tiny so that I don't mistake it for my T. The cost of my hat, which, as our question says, is $10, is going to be equal to $103.83. Now, in order to solve this equation, solving this is going to be, exactly like solving either of the equations from our first two scenarios. I can either do my dividing by 3 first, or I can use my distributive property. Just so that we get more practice with the distributive, I'm going to distribute first. So distributing it in means I have 3 times t, which is just going to be, 3t, plus 3 times 10, which is going to be 30. Now I know that normally we write the step of 3 times t plus 3 times 10. But I've just omitted that from this one because it's completely fine. We know that we're taking this 3 and multiplying it by both of our pieces, and we'll see that that's what we get down here because 3 times 10 gives us the 30. So that's going to be equal to $103.83. And again, same as before, 3 tickets plus $30 is equal to $103.83. I want to just know how much 3 tickets cost. So I'm going to take away the $30. And when I take away the $30, I now only have my 3 tickets. And my 3 tickets, if I were to do 103 minus the 30, I'm going to get 73 and that 83 cents. So now I know that 3 tickets cost $73.83. But I don't really care how much 3 tickets cost. I want to know how much a single ticket costs. So I'm going to take my number of tickets and divide it by 3. And I'm going to take my cost and divide it by 3. So now I know that my ticket is going to equal $24.61. $24.61. So that is our answer for scenario 3. A ticket costs $24.61. Scenario 4 was the one that I thought might give the most people some trouble. Scenario 4 says, well, John, Louie, and Bonnie went to see the baseball game. Ag and Missy decided, you know what, we're not going to the baseball game. What are we going to do? Let's go shopping. They bought a t-shirt for each family member. So even those that aren't here still got a t-shirt. And they bought 2 pairs of sandals that cost $10 a pair. Well, how much was each t-shirt? What makes scenario 4 different than the scenarios that we've already done is that I'm not buying the same number of t-shirts that I am buying sandals. Back in scenario 3, the number of tickets and the number of hats that I bought were the same. In scenario 2, the number of slices of pizza and the number of sodas that we bought were the same. For scenario 1, the number of matinee tickets and drive-in tickets were the same, but this time, how many t-shirts am I buying? Well, I'm buying one for each family member. I'm going to buy 5 shirts. And I'm only buying 2 pairs of sandals. But here's the thing. This is not really going to matter too much. It's just that the way that we're going to write our equation is going to be a little bit different. So, in the end, there is still one more thing that we need to get. Once again, from our box above, we need to get what our, well, total is going to be. My total is going to be $120. Now, when I think of the word total, and I want to think of what kind of an operation that's going to be addition. To find my total, I'm going to add some stuff together. I'm going to add together all of my pieces. Well, what are the pieces that make up my total? Well, what are the things that I bought? Well, I bought 5 shirts and 2 sandals. We don't know our price of our shirt, so our shirt we're going to have as S. But I have I'm buying some shirts. How many? Well, I'm buying 5 shirts. So 5 times S. Plus, I'm buying some sandals. How much are sandals costing? Well, sandals cost $10. And how many sandals am I buying? Well, I'm buying 2 pairs of sandals. And these are the pieces that make up my total. So these pieces together will equal my total of $120. The form of our equation is different because we're not going to have to do anything like our distributive property here. But the way that we'll solve this is going to be the same. 5 times S, well, that's just 5S, plus 2 times 10, that's going to be 20, is equal to 120. So the cost of 5 shirts plus $20 is $120. But I don't care about this additional $20. I only care about the cost of 5 shirts. So let's get rid of this extra cost. Let's subtract 20. By subtracting 20, I now know that the cost of 5 shirts is going to be equal to $100. And now 5 shirts is $100. Now here's the thing. I don't really care about how much 5 shirts cost. I care how much 1 shirt cost. So if 5 shirts cost 100, I'm going to need to divide by 5 to find out how much 1 shirt costs. So 1 shirt is going to cost $20. Now, 1 shirt is going to cost $20 because 5 shirts plus $20 is $120. So if I were to take my 20 and plug it in here, 5 times 20 is 100, plus 20 is 120. That's always something we can do. If we ever are unsure, if we ever get an answer that we are not sure of, what we can do is we can take our number and plug it into our equation to see if it's going to work. So I'm going to replace the S in my equation. Well, technically, let's replace the S in our equation up on top because this is the original form of our equation technically. So I'm going to plug my S into here. I'll have 5 times 20 plus 2 times 10 equals 120. 5 times 20, that's going to be 100. Plus 2 times 10, that's going to be 20. It's going to be equal to 120. Then 100 plus 20, that's 120. Does 120 equal 120? Of course it does, which means that that is correct, which means that S is equal to 20. Now we have one more scenario for us to go over in this video, scenario 5. In order to get to their vacation spot, they actually flew in an airplane. They got some airplane tickets. Each person obviously needed to have their own ticket for the plane, and they also paid $25 in insurance fees per person. So there was the cost of the ticket, and then $25 extra that everyone had to pay. So the thing about scenario 5 is we're going to actually go back to solving things like how we had done in scenarios 1 and 2. So we've got 5 tickets. And we've got 5 people with insurance. Because again, there's 5 people in this family. And then, once again, we have to go all the way up to the top in order to find out what our expenses were for this section. It's going to be our total is going to be $875. And since we're trying to find out the cost of one ticket, I could use the letter T. I don't like using the letter T. I know I used it earlier, but I'm deciding against it here. So I'm going to use the letter A for an airplane ticket. Could have used P for plane ticket. I'm going to use A instead. So since both of our things are 5, I can use the distributive property here. 5 times the cost of my airplane ticket plus the $25 insurance fee is going to be equal to, and I forgot to write my equal sign, there it is going to be equal to $875. Now, last time we solved this using our distributive property back up in scenario 3. This time I'm going to use the, hey, let's divide first method just to make sure that you guys are exposed to both. So since everything on this left side is being multiplied by 5, I have 5 times the cost for one person is equal to 875. But I don't care what 5 times the cost for one person is. I only care what the cost for one person is. So I'm going to divide by 5. And when I divide by 5, I get that my airplane ticket plus the $25 insurance fee is going to equal $175. So that means that every member of the family is going to have to pay $175. Or more likely than not, the parents are paying for the kids' tickets. But in any case, they have to pay $175 per person with the ticket and the insurance. But the question's not asking me how much is it for the ticket and the insurance. What it wants me to know is how much does the ticket cost? To find out how much the ticket costs, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take away my insurance fees. I don't care about them right now. I only care about my ticket. So let's take away the insurance fees so that we're only focusing in on the cost of my ticket. When I subtract 25, well, 25 minus 25, that gets rid of that link just like I wanted to. And then I find out that my airplane ticket is going to cost $150. Our airplane ticket costs $150. So that's all for all 3 of the scenarios that you guys were supposed to do yesterday. Again, if you didn't finish at the end of the video, really. If you didn't finish them yesterday, then you can copy down what we have here. But again, that does mean you're going to get some points off because you did turn it in late, since this is a graded assignment. What you're going to be working on today for asynchronous is going to be scenario 6, scenario 7, and then you're going to have to go back into the module 2 lesson 17 itself, and you're going to have to go down to exercise, to the exercise. The exercise says that the cost of a babysitting service on a cruise is $10 for the first hour and $12 for each additional hour. That's the exercise that you are going to do. So scenario 6, scenario 7, and then that exercise from the lesson, that's your responsibility for today. With that, I hope you guys have yourselves a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Farewell.